The story of Antarctica often begins the same way: a vast frozen desert at the bottom of the world, a place so hostile that almost nothing can survive, a blank white spot on the map of human history. But when you look closer, the silence of Antarctica is not empty. It is hiding something the world was never meant to uncover. For centuries, explorers, governments, and even secret societies have fought to keep the true story buried beneath the ice. And the deeper we look, the stranger the story becomes. Our journey starts in the early 19th century. In 1820, the first official sighting of Antarctica was recorded. Western explorers had finally set eyes on this massive ice continent. But within months of those sightings, rumors began to spread in private letters and sailors' journals, whispers of strange ruins jutting out from the ice, of rock formations that looked too symmetrical to be natural, and of massive cave entrances carved into the frozen cliffs. These rumors were never officially published. Instead, they circulated among the elite, passed between military officers, wealthy patrons, and secretive lodges across Europe. By the late 1800s, expeditions were being quietly sponsored by groups that weren't just interested in science. British and German expeditions were sent south, not to chart the land or study penguins, but to search for something hidden. Reports surfaced that cartographers had access to an ancient map, the infamous Piri-Reis map, drawn in 1513. This map, based on even older sources, appeared to show Antarctica not covered in ice but as a habitable landmass with detailed coastlines. Even more disturbing, geological surveys in the 20th century confirmed that this depiction was accurate. The continent really did look that way before it froze over more than 6,000 years ago. Which means whoever made those maps had access to knowledge far older than our accepted history allows. If Antarctica was once ice-free, then it wasn't always a frozen wasteland. It could have been home to rivers, forests, animals, and even civilizations. This idea spread like wildfire in secret circles. Writers and occultists in the late 19th century began claiming that Antarctica was the last refuge of Atlantis, the legendary advanced civilization said to have vanished thousands of years ago. According to them, survivors of Atlantis retreated south, hiding their temples, technology, and archives of forbidden knowledge under the ice. Fast forward to the 1930s. As the world edged closer to global war, powerful nations turned their attention to Antarctica once again. Germany, under the Nazis, launched a mysterious expedition to a region they called Neuschwabenland in 1938. Officially, the expedition was for whaling and mapping. But insiders knew something darker was at play. Members of the SS Ahnenerbe, the Nazi occult research division, were deeply interested in Antarctica's connection to ancient civilizations. Rumors persist that they discovered vast underground caverns warmed by geothermal heat, large enough to house entire bases. Some claimed the Nazis built hidden fortresses there, while others believed they uncovered something that had been waiting under the ice for millennia, something not human. When World War II ended, Antarctica became the stage for one of the most bizarre military operations in history, Operation Highjump. In 1946, the U.S. Navy sent the largest expedition ever assembled to Antarctica, led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Officially, it was a scientific mission. But Byrd's own words tell a different story. In interviews after returning, Byrd warned of an enemy capable of flying from pole to pole at incredible speeds. Strange reports suggest that the fleet encountered advanced craft, flying discs emerging from the water, outmaneuvering U.S. planes, and even destroying equipment. Within months, the mission was abruptly cut short, and Byrd's notes were classified. To this day, many researchers believe Operation Highjump wasn't a failure but a cover-up of a battle against something that shouldn't exist. The strangeness didn't end there. In the 1950s, world powers suddenly signed the Antarctic Treaty, banning any military activity and severely restricting exploration. Think about that. At the height of the Cold War, when the US and Soviet Union fought over every corner of the Earth, both sides agreed to keep Antarctica off limits. No wars, no ownership, no mass settlements. It was declared a scientific preserve. But why? What could be so important, or so dangerous, under the ice that even enemies agreed to stay away? Some say it was to prevent the discovery of ruins that would rewrite human history. Others whisper that it was about something far more sinister, a technology or presence hidden beneath the ice that no government wanted to unleash. And yet, despite the secrecy, strange encounters continue to surface. Pilots flying over the continent have reported enormous circular openings in the ice, too perfect to be natural caves. Satellite images occasionally reveal structures resembling massive pyramids, their snow-covered sides aligned with cardinal directions just like the pyramids of Giza. Each time these images surface online, they are quickly dismissed or removed. But the coincidences are too hard to ignore. Are these natural mountains, or the last remnants of an ancient civilization poking through the ice? Whistleblowers have added fuel to the fire. In the 1990s, a contractor working on a classified Antarctic project claimed to have seen vast underground structures, hallways carved into solid rock, giant metallic doors, and even what looked like an enormous frozen figure, preserved as if in suspended animation. Others, including military personnel, have suggested that scientists stumbled upon technology that could bend physics itself, devices that seemed dormant but gave off electromagnetic readings unlike anything seen before. These stories are ridiculed by mainstream science, but the secrecy surrounding them is undeniable. Why is the true history of Antarctica being hidden? The simplest answer is that it doesn't fit into our current narrative. If advanced civilizations lived there thousands of years ago, then human history is far older and far stranger than we are told. If powerful technology lies under the ice, then whoever controls it could control the world. And if, as some believe, Antarctica holds a gateway, not just to hidden civilizations but to something beyond our world, then the silence of governments makes a chilling kind of sense. As our planet warms and the ice slowly melts, more and more anomalies are being revealed. Satellite images have captured rectangular patterns beneath the surface, suggesting buried structures. Scientists drilling ice cores have found evidence of pollen, plants, and even freshwater lakes sealed off for millions of years. What might still be living in those untouched ecosystems? What ruins might still be buried in the dark, waiting for the ice to give way? The more we uncover, the more it feels like Antarctica is not just a continent. It's a vault of ancient secrets, forbidden knowledge, and maybe even the remnants of something not of this earth. And every once in a while, cracks appear in that vault, and something slips out, a rumor, a whistleblower's testimony, a strange image. Enough to remind us that the story of Antarctica is not finished. The mystery of Antarctica deepened with the discovery of maps that should not exist. The most infamous among them remains the Piri-Reis map, created in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral who claimed to have compiled it from much older sources. The strange part is not that it shows South America in remarkable detail, but that it depicts Antarctica's coastline free of ice. Modern surveys using advanced radar technology confirmed that beneath the ice sheet, the continent's true coastlines match almost perfectly with the Piri-Reis outline. The implications are staggering. Either an unknown civilization had the ability to chart the continent thousands of years before it was officially discovered, or Antarctica was once ice-free within the memory of humankind. But the Piri-Reis map is not alone. Other maps, like the Orontius Phineas map of 1531, show mountain ranges, rivers, and harbors across the Antarctic landmass, features that cannot be seen today. For mainstream historians, these maps are anomalies, dismissed as guesswork or errors. Yet when taken together, they form a pattern, knowledge that predates our current understanding of human history. And whenever ancient knowledge appears where it shouldn't, there are always whispers of secret archives, hidden libraries preserved by civilizations long vanished, or even by unknown forces. It was this tantalizing possibility that lured the Nazis south in the late 1930s. Their Neuschwabenland expedition wasn't just about exploration. The SS Ahnenerbe was obsessed with finding remnants of advanced civilizations, particularly Atlantis. Nazi ideology fused myth and science, and they believed Antarctica might hold the last pieces of a lost Aryan homeland. What they found remains one of history's most guarded secrets. Witnesses claimed the Germans mapped vast underground systems, caverns kept warm by geothermal heat where liquid water flowed freely and giant ice caves stretched for miles. Rumors persist of encounters with strange structures buried under the ice, cyclopean walls, metallic artifacts, even symbols resembling runes carved into stone. Officially, none of this is acknowledged, but in 1945, when the Allies raided German archives, they found detailed maps of subterranean Antarctica, complete with marked entry points and annotations suggesting ongoing construction. This has led some to believe that the Nazis established hidden bases there, some of which may have survived the end of the war. The US government seemed alarmed enough to take action. Only a year after the war ended, Admiral Richard Byrd launched Operation Highjump in 1946, the largest military expedition ever sent to Antarctica, consisting of 13 ships, dozens of aircraft, and thousands of men. On paper, it was a training exercise. But behind the scenes, Highjump was rushed into action, and its objectives remain classified to this day. Byrd himself was a seasoned polar explorer, yet his private remarks after returning hinted at something extraordinary. In one interview with a Chilean newspaper, he spoke of an enemy with the ability to fly from pole to pole at incredible speeds. What did Byrd see? Many researchers argue that his fleet clashed with advanced craft, flying discs capable of vertical takeoff and maneuvers that defied aerodynamics. These craft, according to some accounts, emerged from the ocean itself, suggesting not only a hidden base but a power unlike anything in human hands at the time. The expedition was cut short after only 2 months, despite being planned for 6 to 8. Several men died, equipment was destroyed, and official records remain vague. But Byrd's warnings were clear. Antarctica concealed something dangerous, something far beyond ordinary science. The years following Highjump only added fuel to the fire. In 1957, another operation called Deep Freeze was launched, again under Byrd's leadership. Shortly after, the Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959. At the height of the Cold War, when nuclear weapons were proliferating and tensions were at their peak, the world's greatest powers suddenly agreed to make Antarctica off-limits to military activity. It was a stunning act of cooperation, almost too good to be true. To this day, Antarctica is the only continent without a single nation claiming ownership or deploying armies. Officially, it's for science. Unofficially, many believe it's because the true history, and possibly technology, hidden beneath the ice must never be revealed to the public. But despite the secrecy, glimpses have leaked through. In 2016, satellite images surfaced showing a massive triangular formation in Antarctica resembling a pyramid. Its sides were perfectly aligned and nearly identical to the pyramids of Giza. Scientists dismissed it as a nunatic, a mountain peak poking through the ice. But the geometric precision was too striking, too deliberate. Other anomalies include enormous rectangular openings visible in cliff faces, large enough for aircraft to enter. Are these natural caves, or entrances to something more? Each time such images appear, they vanish almost as quickly, fueling suspicion that governments and tech companies actively censor them. Whistleblowers, too, have added chilling testimony. A former contractor who worked on classified projects in Antarctica described vast underground facilities, massive caverns filled with machinery that looked thousands of years old, humming with strange energy. Others spoke of finding remains, not human, but something larger, humanoid in shape, preserved in the ice. These claims are impossible to verify, but they echo stories that go back centuries, legends of giant beings, ancient gods, and civilizations that once ruled before being swallowed by catastrophe. Then there are the stories of alien connections. Some theorists believe that Antarctica may house remnants of extraterrestrial visitation. If so, then perhaps the bases aren't human at all. Some whistleblowers even claim the Nazis weren't building their own bases but instead discovered pre-existing ones and simply moved in. Could it be that Antarctica is not just a frozen wasteland, but an interdimensional outpost, a place where non-human intelligences left behind their technology? Another puzzle lies in the geology itself. Scientists drilling into Antarctica's ice have discovered subglacial lakes sealed off for millions of years. Lake Vostok, one of the largest, lies 2 miles beneath the ice sheet and stretches over 12,000 square kilometers. What life could have evolved in such isolation? And why has access to it been so restricted? In 2012, a Russian team reportedly penetrated the lake, but much of their findings remain undisclosed. Rumors swirled that they encountered strange microorganisms, life forms unlike anything else on Earth. Taken together, these fragments paint a haunting picture. Ancient maps showing an ice-free continent. Nazi expeditions uncovering underground worlds. A U.S. naval fleet possibly battling unknown craft. A treaty forbidding ownership of an entire continent. Satellite images of pyramids and caves. Whistleblowers describing ruins, machines, and even beings preserved in ice. Each story alone can be dismissed as fantasy. But when woven together, they suggest that Antarctica is not just the last frontier of Earth, it is the key to a hidden chapter of human, and perhaps non-human, history. And yet, the most disturbing clues are not in the past but in the present. In recent years, world leaders and religious figures have made unusual visits to Antarctica. In 2016, then Secretary of State John Kerry made a sudden trip to the frozen continent during a U.S. election crisis. What could be so urgent? Why would one of the most powerful men in the world travel to Antarctica at such a critical moment? Around the same time, reports surfaced of Russian Patriarch Kirill visiting ancient sites there, accompanied by military escorts. These visits are rarely explained, and the timing always seems suspicious. Why are the elite so interested in Antarctica? Did they know something we don't? Is there a discovery so monumental, so world-changing, that it must remain hidden at all costs? Perhaps the answers lie not only beneath the ice but in what is coming. Some researchers believe that Antarctica may not simply hide the past, but also hold the key to the future. As Earth's climate warms and the ice melts at unprecedented rates, more secrets will inevitably be revealed. Buried structures may emerge, frozen bodies may thaw, and perhaps long-dormant technology may reactivate. If that happens, the veil of secrecy may shatter, and humanity will be forced to confront truths we have been shielded from for centuries. The real question is, are we ready for it? For centuries, myths from across the globe have spoken of hidden realms beneath our feet, vast underground worlds where ancient civilizations continue to thrive, untouched by the surface world. From the Tibetan legends of Agartha to the Native American tales of inner Earth tribes, the theme repeats. Entrances to these subterranean realms are scattered across the Earth, and one of the most guarded among them lies in Antarctica. The idea seems fantastical, yet when connected with the anomalies of the frozen continent, it becomes less a myth and more a chilling possibility. Whistleblowers and leaked documents suggest that beneath Antarctica's 2-mile-thick ice sheets lie caverns so large they could house entire cities. These caverns, warmed by geothermal vents, contain liquid water, breathable air, and ecosystems that have been isolated for millions of years. Scientists admit to the existence of more than 400 subglacial lakes, with Lake Vostok being the most famous. But what they don't openly discuss is what else might exist in these spaces: ruins, machines, or even life forms far beyond human understanding. The Hollow Earth theory ties directly into Shambhala and Agartha myths, which claim a vast network of underground civilizations linked by tunnels beneath the Himalayas, the Amazon, and Antarctica itself. Tibetan monks told early explorers of a kingdom where beings of immense wisdom and advanced technology guided the fate of surface humanity. Could it be that Antarctica houses the southern gateway to this world? If so, then the Nazi obsession with the continent begins to make sense. Their occult divisions believed in Agartha, and the possibility that superior beings lived within. If they discovered even a fraction of this hidden reality, it would explain their continued fascination with the frozen South. Operation Highjump may have been more than just a military expedition gone wrong. Some believe Admiral Byrd's, enemy capable of flying from pole to pole, was no foreign power but the guardians of an inner-world civilization. Imagine advanced craft, not alien in origin but terrestrial, built by a civilization that predates ours by thousands, perhaps millions of years. If such beings exist, then Antarctica is not just a continent but a fortress, protecting the greatest secret in human history. And then there are the prophecies. Ancient Buddhist texts speak of a time when Shambhala will rise from beneath the earth, led by a great king, to wage a final battle against forces of darkness on the surface. Other traditions echo this, warning of a war between hidden masters of wisdom and the corrupt rulers of the outside world. If these legends are more than allegory, then Antarctica may be the stage upon which humanity's future is decided. Modern science itself provides unsettling clues. In 2018, researchers detected strange, low-frequency signals emanating from beneath Antarctica. These were not ordinary seismic activity but rhythmic pulses, almost artificial in nature. Some speculated they could be natural geological phenomena. Others whispered they might be machines, ancient technology buried deep below, still functioning after countless ages. And as the ice melts, these signals are becoming stronger. Satellite images add to the mystery. Vast hexagonal patterns have been spotted across the ice fields, perfectly geometric in form. Geologists dismiss them as natural formations, but their scale and symmetry hint at something else. And then there are the massive anomalies, detected by ground-penetrating radar, structures miles long, lying buried beneath the ice sheet. Some resemble enormous domes, others elongated tunnels stretching endlessly. Whatever they are not natural glaciers. The secrecy surrounding Antarctica only deepens suspicion. Why do governments maintain such tight restrictions on access? Independent explorers have repeatedly been turned back by military patrols, sometimes under threat of force. Even permitted scientists are confined to specific zones, with much of the continent completely off limits. If Antarctica were truly nothing more than ice and penguins, why the extraordinary effort to keep the world away? Some suggest the reason is not only archaeological but also extraterrestrial. Declassified files have hinted at UFO activity concentrated around the poles. Pilots describe seeing glowing disks darting in and out of the ocean, vanishing beneath the waves near Antarctica's coastlines. If these craft are real, perhaps they use the continent's hidden caverns as bases, shielded from the eyes of the surface world. That would explain why advanced civilizations, human or otherwise, might choose to remain there, hidden until the right moment to re-emerge. And then comes the most controversial theory of all, that Antarctica is not merely a continent, but a gateway. Certain anomalies in the magnetic field suggest that beneath its ice, space and time may not behave as we expect. Could there be portals, wormholes, leading to other dimensions or even other worlds? Some whistleblowers claim that experiments conducted in Antarctica have tapped into such forces, and that this is why the elite travel there in secrecy. Religious leaders, politicians, even corporate magnates have made sudden and unexplained trips. If they are preparing for something, it may not be an unveiling but an encounter. The pattern is clear: something in Antarctica is not meant for ordinary eyes. Whether it is evidence of an ancient civilization, the entrance to Hollow Earth, extraterrestrial bases, or dimensional gateways, the story is too dangerous, too world-shattering to reveal. To acknowledge it would mean rewriting history, questioning religion, and dismantling the power structures that control the modern world. And so, the truth is buried, literally, under miles of ice. But ice does not last forever. Climate change, whether natural or accelerated, is rapidly melting Antarctica. Each year, vast stretches of land once sealed off for eons are revealed. Already, explorers have stumbled upon massive caves, open stretches of earth, and formations that challenge explanation. The day may come when the secrets can no longer be hidden, when ruins, machines, or even beings emerge into the daylight. Humanity may be forced to confront not only its forgotten past but its uncertain future. Imagine the revelation, the proof of a lost civilization older than Egypt, more advanced than Rome. Imagine the discovery of technologies capable of free energy, levitation, or even interdimensional travel, all locked away beneath Antarctica's frozen veil. And imagine the shock when it becomes clear that those who dwell beneath are not gone, but watching, waiting, deciding when to return. The final question is this: are we being prepared? Are the strange signals, the elite visits, the censored satellite images, all steps in a slow disclosure, a way to acclimate us to a truth too vast to comprehend all at once? Or is the secrecy a desperate attempt to delay the inevitable, to buy time before the greatest revelation in human history breaks through the ice? As legends warn, the final battle may not be fought on open ground but in the shadows of Antarctica, where forces of light and darkness prepare for a confrontation that will decide the fate of the surface world. Whether myth or reality, the whispers grow louder each year: Antarctica is not dead. It breathes, it watches, and soon, it may awaken.